I don't have 2 of the same car. I have 5 of the same car. I'm just kind of the victim of a good deal. I'm Antonio Alvendia, and I drive a bunch of AE86s. When the AE86 was developed, in Japan, it was sold all the way from 83 to 87 as the AE86 Toyota Corolla 11 and the AE86 Toyota Sprinter Trueno. Back in those days, I think Toyota was just trying to develop more sporty, economical, affordable cars that people could have fun with. These cars came with a factory LSD, 5-axle rear end with a panhard rod, MacPherson front suspension. In the US, it came factory with oil coolers, 1.6 liter, high revving, twin cam engine that, would rev all the way to 7,800 RPM. You get a lot of value out of that. My cars are a 1985 Corolla GT-S and a 1986 Corolla GT-S. The 1985 AE86 is what we call the Zeni, which means before minor change. That's a Japanese term. The 1986 we refer to as the coupe model, and that's after minor change. With the Zeni AE86, the 1985 version, it comes with a lower lip spoiler. The back taillights says Sprinter on the right side and it's tinted on the bottom. The coupe version has a reflective red line that runs across the taillights, and it's a 3-piece thing. The bumpers for the coupe, they have wraparound bumper lights, whereas the Zeni just has lights in the front. I like the subtle differences of the cars, and to me, I just really wanted them both because when you drive the coupe, it totally feels different than the Zeni. It's not all rattly. It feels like maybe how a new AE86 might have felt. On the freeway or on the streets, the coupe feels like a nostalgic Japanese car should. Everything works, it runs really well, but it still looks aggressive on the outside. Back in the days when my friends and I first started hearing about drifting from Japanese videos and magazines, there wasn't really a place to go to practice drifting. So naturally, people were practicing in parking lots or, on mountain roads. But in the early 2000s, a lot more people started holding events. I was always out there with my camera, and so I always just was documenting the early days of drifting. And to me, that was a little bit more important than becoming some competitive driver. That kind of naturally evolved into me working with a bunch of magazines and different media outlets, and I was approached to do a book. 2006, we released a book called Drifting Sideways from Japan to America. That opened up a ton of doors. In 2007, I was approached by EA Games to work with them as a consultant. I worked with the Need for Speed team. A couple years after that, I started to start my own thing with my close friends, which is called Motor Mavens. When we first started Motor Mavens, it was a blog, but it's evolved so much. Started throwing events, and eventually we decided to throw an event called 86 Fest. And that was when the Scion FRS and Subaru BRZ first came out, and 86 Fest blew up. It was supposed to be just a meet. Now the FRS and BRZ is like one of the hottest cars in the automotive aftermarket, and I still talk to shop owners and manufacturers to this day, and they all say that that's one of the #1 cars that they sell parts for. Now a lot of these manufacturers are starting to care more about AE86s. Now we're able to finally put our passion for these cars together with relevant stuff in the industry and kind of help companies sell parts and stuff, and that's just awesome to me. A lot of people ask me, why do you still like these cars? Why do you still have them around? Because a lot of my friends who originally started with AE86s, they sold them, they moved on to other things, you know, Beamers, Porsches, you know, Ferraris, whatever. To me, it's kind of like a memento. It got me into car culture, and from car culture, I naturally found a calling and a passion and a career. If I didn't work in this industry, I'd be doing this stuff on the weekends, you know, and thinking about it when I'm in my office at work, you know, all day long.